What's up guys, this is Laser Monkey, welcome back, and people always ask me at competitions in the YouTube comments section every time I upload a sub 3 official average how I get so fast with LBL on 2x2, and I say that I use LBL because I don't know many CLL algs or any of the EG1 or EG2 cases. I do know how to solve with Ortega, but I don't use that for reasons I will probably discuss later in the video unless it's a really easy case that I can one look. And so I'm currently in the process of learning CLL, and so I just wanted to make this video about how I used to solve before I completely forget, and just give you guys some tips on how to get fast on 2x2 without learning too many algs. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing this. I just wanted to do a quick video about this just to explain why you don't really need algs to get really good at 2x2, but they are definitely very beneficial if you want to be consistently sub 3. I am not consistently sub 3. I'm probably consistently sub 4.5, maybe sub 4 if I'm having a good day, but sub 3 is not a common thing. It's just something that I can do if I get lucky cases with lucky stuff that I happen to know. So I just thought I would do some explanation of how I solve and also include some example solves just to give you guys an idea of how I think about my solves. So yeah. So let's just do a quick scramble here and just do a quick idea. So LBL, I try and form a layer. The reason I don't use Ortega is because a lot of times you can get the adjacent swap on the bottom, and that's just really annoying and kind of a waste of time. So I find that LBL offers a lot more luck, so that's why I use LBL. So right here, I'm not that great at building efficient layers, but I'm not sure what I would go for here. Probably just something like that, get the blue layer, and then here I would just do the regular soon and the Y-perm alg. So that would be probably a mid 3, I would guess. Like here, this is an example of some extreme look ahead. So I can see, I'm just going to do these moves, but I would be doing these during inspection. I really recommend using your inspection very effectively, because if you don't use your inspection, you're going to have a hard time getting fast. So I know that this layer is going to form, right? So I try and predict the OLL case. I don't know CLL, so I just go for the OLL. And so I can see here that this is going to move up to there, and this is going to move down to here. So I'm going to have this oriented, and this is going to move there. So I'm going to have a anti-soon. So I would just do that, and then I get lucky with the PLL skip, and that would probably be a 1. And that's just how I go about solving. I rely on luck for now, and sometimes I'll give you guys an example here. So I'm not building a good layer here, obviously, but like here I do know the CLL, but for a while I just did that and just did the adjacent swap alg. Or here I would just do this, and then I actually know this CLL as well, but I would just do that, and then but I think it's definitely possible to get sub 3 without learning any algs. You do have to know obviously some basic algs, but I just don't think you need to know that many algs. Of course, I'm not consistent at all, which is the upside of learning a bunch of algs, and I definitely recommend that you learn a bunch of algs. I don't want people to think that LBL is a good method. Now, I wanted to do some Ortega walkthroughs just to give you guys an idea of why I don't use Ortega, but I do use it in some situations. So actually, this is a really good LBL solve, so I'm just going to do LBL. So right there, and here I can see that since I'm doing these, I know that this is going to match up, but I know that since this is matching as well, that I'm going to get an adjacent swap in the back. And I don't know the CLL alg for this. Well, I mean, it's just a rotate, but let's just say I do it like this. That's what I would do. I just predict the PLLs. So I use the same algs, but I've I've learned over time. This is the same case. I've learned over time the different cases and what's gonna happen if I do something. I'll give an example here. One key is using inspection time very efficiently, but so I was gonna do Ortega. So say I did an Ortega layer right there, right? So I've got this, and I do that. Well, that's not really the best. Now I have to do something like this, I think. See, I don't even know my Ortega. Yeah, I also don't know how to solve Ortega very well. Anyways, so I use LBL because if I got, say I was doing this case right here, and I was like, oh, okay, so I've got an adjacent here, and I do this, oh. Yeah, see, now I have to flip it over, and rotations take a lot of time, and I don't want to do rotations on 2x2. And so if I'm doing LBL, if I got a case like that, that would actually be pretty lucky. So I do this, then I'm like, okay, so I'm going to have, and boom, there's no rotations at all, just some quick algs and fast TPS, and I can get some good times if I get lucky cases. Like here, that was luck, and see, that would be like a low 2. And the key to getting sub 3 officially is just getting lucky. And that's why, obviously, this is not a good 2x2 method, but if you want to just work on your look ahead, I would recommend just trying to just work without learning new algs, and that really helps your look ahead quite a bit. So if I'm doing a solve here, that's a really bad layer, but you get the point. And see, here, I'm actually, I don't really know this one, but I know that this is not the CLL that will get me a PLL skip, and so I just do it, and I like this Ortega alg, but that's the only one I like. I like that one, and that one, obviously. So, and maybe, no, I'm not even going to try it. I don't know Ortega. So, yeah, I hope this gave you some insight into how I solve 2x2. I basically, some other stuff I do, like here, I would see that these two are like that, and I would just use the regular alg. But say I got the mirror of that, I would not do this alg, okay? I would flip it around, and I know to do the mirror. So some basic tricks, like here, I know that this one is not solved, and so this goes here. That's going to give me a PLL skip. And same for this, like I wouldn't do this case. That's a waste of moves. They just do that case. But overall, I just use a really bad 2x2 method, and I just rely on luck. Like, that was really lucky. That would be like a low 1. Anyways, that was a CLL I just learned, as you can tell. Probably a bad alg, but I'm working on it. So yeah, just let me know if you have any more questions about how I get so fast with layer by layer. It's just insane look ahead. It's probably not something that you should be working on unless you just want to improve your look ahead in general. I do try to one look solves, but that's really difficult when you don't know that many algs. That's why I'm learning CLL and maybe some EGs in the future. EG1, EG2, maybe? Maybe not. That's about it. Thanks so much for watching. This is Laser Monkey, out.